Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you guys had a great day. Just wanted to kind of join in for a few minutes tonight and just talk about our weather as we go through the next several days. We've had an incredible stretch of weather. The sunshine, temperatures that have been nearing record warmth here the past couple of days. We're going to hold on to this warm weather for a few more days, so be sure to enjoy it. But we will start to see some changes as early as tomorrow in terms of more cloud cover. Our next storm will arrive this weekend, set to bring some windy weather and then eventually some heavy rain. And then we're going to get a little bit of a reality check with our temperatures next week. While it will not be very cold, it's going to be a lot colder than what it is right now. So I just want to kind of talk about where we're heading as we go through the coming days. And also I'm going to briefly show you guys the outlook all the way through about the 8th of January. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about the weather going into the first, let's say, roughly 8 days of the new year and just kind of take a look at what you can expect moving forward. So again, thank you guys for joining in. Share if you like, if you enjoy weather. I'm going to briefly discuss our warm weather today. I mean, it's been incredible. Let me switch the screen around to my computer screen. I'm going to shut this light off so we're not interfering with my screen. There we go. Let's zoom in. I'm in a basement if you're wondering. I'm not this tall, but the ceiling's low, of course, since it's in a basement. So, all right, so let's take a look at the temperatures today. These are high temperatures that were observed today. We had temperatures in the 60s. We were only 2 degrees away from the record high. We hit 62 here in Indy. This was the warmest Christmas since 1982. I just want to kind of show you guys the record book here as far as the warmest temperature ever seen on Christmas Day. Our high temperature of 62, warmest since 1982, and we were only 2 degrees away from the warmest Christmas ever recorded of 64 degrees. That was in 1893. So we were right up there with the top warmest ever recorded. So pretty incredible stuff, to say the least. So again, hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. So to be technical, this would go down as the 4th warmest Christmas ever recorded with, 63 degrees was observed on 1889 and 1982. We have 3 other Christmases that were warmer than this one. But again, pretty crazy weather to say the least. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, temperatures are going to stay very mild as we go throughout tonight. This is the one difference that we're already going to start to see. The past several mornings we've had frost. We've had temperatures that have gotten pretty cold at night. But the difference tonight is that it's going to stay a lot warmer. Temperatures tonight will only fall to around the upper 40s briefly. And we're going to be close to 50 degrees tomorrow morning. We're going to see more cloud cover tomorrow, and we're going to see temperatures still warm up to really around 60 degrees. A couple spots may get above 60. The difference tomorrow is that we're not going to have that brilliant sunshine like we had today. We're going to see a lot more cloud cover tomorrow. So that's why I said I hope you've enjoyed all that bright weather we've had. It sure helps that seasonal depression. If you do battle that, with the cloudy days that we typically get, this is usually the cloudiest month of the whole year. So I think we've had like 9 sunny days in a row now. It sure has been nice. Tomorrow we see a few breaks of sun, but we're definitely going to see more clouds. Highs around 60 degrees. And then tomorrow night, look at this. We're going to spend most of Thursday night with temperatures in the mid-50s. This is just unbelievable. I mean, keep in mind our normal low is like 23 degrees this time of year. Normal high is like, 33. I mean, this is just crazy weather we're having. Temperatures Friday morning will start off here in the 50s. Barely even need a jacket. Friday afternoon will be a little cooler. We'll have a chance of some light drizzle Friday morning. And then temperatures on Friday afternoon actually look to kind of hold in the 50s. We'll have some much cooler weather up to the north across northern Indiana. They will cool down quite a bit on Friday. But this front will never fully come through. It's going to just kind of sit here near I-70 Friday night. So we'll see some much cooler weather Friday night up to the north, warmer weather to the south. And then the front will shoot way back to the north on Saturday. So when that happens, we're going to see temperatures soar again. And the reason why that's happening is that we're going to see a developing storm in the Plain States this weekend. And when that storm starts to grow, it's going to lift that frontal boundary back north. We're going to see a surge in the temperatures. It's going to get quite windy. Eventually, though, that surge of wind and warmth, well, it's going to bring moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. You know what that means? It means rain's going to start to develop here by Saturday late in the day. And I think we could be looking at some pretty heavy rain as we go into Saturday night. So let's take a look at that system. Let me zoom in a little closer so you can see a little bit better what I'm showing you. So this is just a look at our precipitation forecast. I also have the pressure lines, the isobars here as well, because that can kind of show you the overall strength of these systems and how much wind we're going to see. When you see a lot of tight packing of those isobars, that would mean a lot of wind. You can see right now we don't have that. So that's why it's not very windy. We don't have anything too crazy going on. There is that weak front that will start to approach us early Friday. And I think we could squeeze out some patches of drizzle tomorrow night. Could see a couple sprinkles tomorrow, but I think it's mainly dry. I do think tomorrow night into early Friday, we could have a couple areas of light rain. It's not a big deal, but there could be some light rain early Friday morning. I think Friday afternoon is mainly dry, but we're going to see, again, temperatures just a touch cooler. Not a big deal. It's still going to be warm on Friday. And then we get really warm again on Saturday as this next storm starts to develop here. So this is really our next system that we need to talk about as far as when is our next chance of rain, when's our next impactful weather going to come. It's going to come again this weekend, but especially late Saturday. I think we can get a good chunk of Saturday just mostly cloudy, dry, and quite warm. The wind will start to pick up by Saturday night, and we will start to see rain. I think we could see a couple showers by mid to late afternoon Saturday, but most of this rain is going to come Saturday night and through the first half of Sunday. It's going to get really wet. We're going to see heavy rain. We are probably going to see a couple thunderstorms with this as well. There is a little bit of instability. I'm not seeing severe weather for us, but I do think we could have a couple thunderstorms with some very warm weather early Sunday. And then temperatures will start to drop late in the day Sunday, as the storm system brings blizzard-like conditions across parts of the Dakotas, Minnesota this weekend. Again, we're going to be on the warm side of that storm. That storm will eventually start to occlude by Sunday night into Monday. When that storm starts to occlude, what I mean by that is we start to see that colder air wrap around the entire diameter of the storm. We're no longer going to have a warm front and cold front. We're just going to have that cold air just kind of wrap around the storm. The storm system will start to weaken, and we'll start to see more seasonal temperatures work in by Sunday night into Monday. But it looks like we'll also dry out by Monday of next week. So it looks like we'll start to see a bit of a quieter stretch of weather again through the first half of next week. Temperatures for a couple days will get back to more normal temperatures for this time of year, which would be in the upper 30s. But then I think we warm back up again around New Year's Day. I think we could see temperatures soar way back to the 40s. It looks like we're going to see a couple days of some really mild weather again around New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and maybe a little bit after that too. But we're going to see our next storm. After the storm this weekend, our next storm is going to arrive, it looks like, around the 2nd or 3rd of January. That's going to bring a pretty good surge of some rain again. I know, big surprise, more rain, right? Just great for all you snow lovers out there. But it looks like after this storm, we're going to see more of a potent blast of cold weather. So there's a brief punch of colder weather against Sunday night through about Tuesday of next week. We warm back up after that around New Year's Day. And then this next storm comes in around the end of next week, around the 2nd, 3rd of the month. And then around next weekend, around the 4th and 5th, that's when we start to see behind this storm, colder air will start to seep in, and I think we could see a pretty good punch of some colder weather around the 5th, 6th, 7th of the month, and that's something we'll have to watch as we get a little bit closer. But we're going to see some heavy rain this weekend. We've had a long stretch of dry weather, which has been great for all the snow that we've had to melt. It's been really a great situation because we haven't had the melting happening super quickly. It's kind of been a gradual process. It's really limited the amount of water and flooding that we've seen, and with all the dry weather, that's been a huge plus. But this weekend we get heavy rain. Around an inch of rain is likely across much of the state, much of the area. This is going to be a nice surge of rain this weekend, again, especially Saturday night through a good chunk of Sundays, the way it looks right now. The wind will also become an issue. I'm not going to go through this in detail, but the winds could gust 30 to 40 plus miles an hour Saturday night and into outer day Sunday. So that wind will be quite gusty this weekend. It looks like the wind will be an issue all the way into the early part of next week. So now let's talk about temperatures. Temperatures, this is for Indianapolis. This is based off 50 different models, so keep that in mind. This is averaged out, so it averages out all the different solutions and all the extremes into one solution right here, which can kind of help at least give us a picture of what's to come. Again, we're going to be pretty warm all the way through Sunday. And then we go from 61 Sunday to about 39 Monday. Again, it's going to feel really cold Monday, but this is actually still actually slightly above normal when we cool down early next week. And then we warm back up here around the 1st, 2nd of January. That's ahead of our next storm, which will then dump, I think, some more colder weather as we get towards the 5th, 6th, 7th of January. You see temperatures here towards the end of the period get back to around 30 degrees by the 6th. Temperatures for lows get back down to about 19. Again, no major Arctic outbreaks, but there will definitely be some colder weather as we get deeper into January. Big shocker there, right? I mean, we expect that. But just noting that there will be some changes down the road. But hey, until then, we'll live in our crazy pattern that we've been in for a few more days. Again, from Thursday through Sunday, for the most part, like I said, we're going to stay very warm for most of us. So hopefully you can get outside and enjoy it. You know, we're not going to see all that sunshine like we've been seeing. Today was the last day of that real nice sunshine. So again, tomorrow's going to be a lot cloudier. It's going to look kind of gray and gloomy, but it's still going to be very warm. And we'll keep that trend through Friday. Joyce, thanks for joining in. You said something. I'm not sure what you mean there. Brian, Brandy, thanks for joining in. Mitch, or I should say Micah, thanks for joining in this evening. Appreciate it here. Travis, you said you need some snow. I'm sorry, I don't have snow in the forecast. We might get some flurries behind that storm early next week. And I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't looked at things in full detail or super in depth because, you know, it's Christmas. But it looks like, you know, the models really aren't too excited about any snow. You can see we might get a flurry or two early next week, but I'm not really seeing any snow. If we get any wintry weather, I don't think it would be until we get towards around next weekend, around the 5th, 6th of the month. That next storm comes in. We drop in some colder air. If we can get another storm to follow that cold front, you know, then we could be looking at some winter weather, which is possible. Again, this is the European model. I'm going to show you the GFS too. Just to be fair, the GFS is actually in pretty good agreement with the European. So the models are really have a pretty good idea, I think, of what's going to happen or how things are going to pan out here for the next week and a half. You can see that storm that comes through this weekend. There's our little break here right before New Year's. A little bit quieter weather. The GFS also agrees we're going to see another storm later next week, around the 2nd, 3rd of the month, and generally another rainstorm. The GFS also showing as we get towards around the 5th, 6th of the month, we start to see some colder weather return. It does suggest a little bit of snow, but it suggests perhaps a big East Coast storm. This is fantasy land on the models, so I mean, you look at this, but don't think this is actually accurate. This is not, but it doesn't show anything too crazy for us in terms of snow. Again, that's just kind of a look here into the next couple of weeks. So thank you guys for joining in. Again, we just kind of talked about our weather over the coming days, what you can kind of expect, especially as we go through the weekend, as there will be some changes on the way. But until then, hopefully you guys can enjoy that warm weather all the way through the weekend. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you had a Merry Christmas and have a good night.